Okay guys, I just got off on my first day of work here in Georgia, and after a long day of work, what do you want to do when you get back? Drink a beer. So I'm going to do a review of the SJPorr beers. I'm going to start my reviews now. Basically, I'm going to do them one at a time, not like all at the same time like everyone else has been doing. I like to clean my palate pretty good in between, but I'll combine them all into one video, so stay tuned in this video and you'll see each one as they happen. But the first one I'm starting with just happens to be StumpyJoeJr, and this was sent to me through SJPorr actually. Don't know much about this beer. I watched Dorf's video and it said that it was a hoppy brown, so that's what I'm gonna expect, I guess. Go Duck, go out. So I'm gonna expect a hoppy brown, but either way, we'll give it a review here and see what it tastes like. All right, it's coming out. That's very high carbonation. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait for this one to die down. As you can see, the foam is coming up through the bottle there. May have waited a little bit too long to open this one. All right, so I'm gonna pour this and let it sit down, and I'll come back after that. Okay guys, I've been sitting here for a few minutes now, and the head's very thick head, doesn't want to die down, so I'm just gonna do this anyways. But carbonation obviously very high on this one. Yep, good smell of hops. There's definitely a fruity, a little bit of a grapefruit nose to the hops. But yeah, that's what I'm getting, is mainly a very light hop aroma. It's not very in your face, punch you in the face, but it's nice. It's a nice light hop aroma, but I'm smelling fruity, a little bit of citrus, and some grapefruit. So not sure which hops you used, but hopefully that's the right description. Color, you probably can't see. To me, it is pretty much completely dark brown, almost. Actually, yeah, very dark black with brown highlights at the bottom. Can't see through it at all. Let's give it a try. Very nice. I thought the carbonation, being so high as it is, or appears to be, that I thought I was going to get a lot of CO2 bubbles in my mouth, and it was going to have that harsh carbonation going down my throat, but it's actually fairly smooth. Bitter. Slight hint of some roast. Nicely balanced between the dark malts that you used and the hops. It's actually really hard to, for instance, like a black IPA or something like that. It's hard to get those roasted grains or those dark grains balanced with the hops and make it taste, normal. But this is a really good job. A little bit of, what is that? The hop bitterness is a lot more prominent than the nose suggests. Most of the flavor, most of what I'm tasting here is the hop bitterness. Like I said, there's a little bit of dark malt in there. Very smooth, medium body. Very subtle hints of chocolate, but mostly, like I said, mostly the hops take over. But it's a hoppy brown, so that's what it's supposed to be. You're definitely getting the hops. But like I said, more importantly, it's not just hops with a dark colored beer. It's balanced. Okay, the dark malts and the hops actually work together pretty well on this one. Good job, man. I really like this. Very good beer. So I'm gonna finish drinking this one, and the head. Look at the head. It's so dense. It's not going anywhere. It's kind of crazy. But I'm gonna finish drinking this one, and I'll probably do another review probably later tonight or tomorrow on the other ones. I have my beer I'm gonna do. I have SJPorr's beer, and I have Jameson's beer, Tantrum777. So look forward to those. I have 3 more reviews to do, and they'll be later in this video. So check those out. Cheers. Okay, guys, we are gonna go ahead and do a review of one of the beers from the SJPorr challenge, and this one was sent by Tantrum777, aka Jameson. Check out his channel, and he calls this one Quad Damage Imperial IPA. Ironwood Ales Quad Damage Imperial IPA, brewed by Jameson. 9.5% alcohol by volume, 22-ounce bottle. It's got a cool little label. I haven't folded the labels yet. Probably should for stuff like this. This one's really cool. So I'm anxious to try this. I'm looking for a good IPA today. So 9.5% though. It's gonna kick my ass probably. All right, let's open this sucker. Good hiss. Nice smoke. And here we go. Oh wow. Jameson, that's pretty damn good color there. I like that. It's nice and pretty. Oops. Alright, so the first thing I noticed, very, very, very clear. Very clear, almost like you filtered it. Maybe it's because it sat in my fridge for a while. Let's see if there's a big yeast cake on the bottom. I don't see too big of a yeast cake, so I don't know. Good job there though. It's definitely carbonated. Wow, this is beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. It pours a nice orange glowing color when I put it up in front of the light. Dark golden orange color, very clear, 2-finger head, the way I poured it at least. Oh, the nose is just fantastic. You know what's funny is I pulled out a 60-minute IPA because I got home just now and I wanted an IPA, but then I remembered that I had this to review, so I was like, well, I'll just try Jameson's beer. And you know what? This smells very similar to this 60-minute. Very, very hoppy, very, let's see. I'm getting the American hop aroma, the typical citrus, fruity, mainly citrus and fruity. I'm trying to see if I get a little grapefruit or not. Maybe a slight hint of grapefruit, not really, but mostly citrus. Very good smell because I'm a fan of the citrus. So anyways, great smell, beautiful look. Easily one of the best homebrew colors / clarities I've ever seen. In general, I can never get beers to look like this. This is a great looking beer. Head is lasting, as you can see, good head retention. Smells great, man. I'm gonna try this. Wow. Okay, so it's good. Very, yes. Can you wait, please?
Sorry.
I told you I was making a video. Sorry, we're back now. I got interrupted. Sorry. So, anyways, what I was gonna say is body, nice medium body, good carbonation. Good malt backbone, and the hoppiness, the bitterness is strong, but it's not overwhelming. It's almost, I mean, I won't say it's balanced with the malt, but it's a good balance, I guess, in terms of there's a sufficient malt backbone there backing up the hops, but it is very hoppy, which is what you would expect and what you want out of an Imperial IPA. So I think that's pretty good. So I'm enjoying this. What hops did you use in this? This is the hop flavor and the hop bitterness and the hops in general that I'm getting here. Very good stuff. I don't know what kind of hops these are. I'm guessing you use some sort of American citrusy kind of hops. That's going to be my guess, but let me know in the comments. Malt is a little caramel note coming through. To give it that malt backbone, but mostly it's a hop forward beer. In terms of alcohol, there's this very, very, very slight, and by very slight I mean barely perceivable, alcohol warmth, which I've made Imperial IPAs before and haven't had success in masking that as well as you've done here. And the ones that I've done, you taste the alcohol, you can taste it, and it tastes like a 9 or 10% beer because you're tasting that alcohol. This one, the malt and the hops cover it up very well, and you only get a little bit of that warmth at the end, just enough there to let you know that this could be dangerous. But at 9.5, is it 9.5 that you said? Yeah, 9.5% alcohol by volume. I would have guessed, if I wouldn't have known, this was like a 6.5 or 7. So you're masking that alcohol very well. This is a slammer, man. If you like IPAs, you can drink a couple of these and not even realize you're getting into trouble. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I really, really like this beer. Very, very good beer. Great Imperial IPA. Yeah, let me know what hops you used in that, because that's a great beer. So, anyways, that's pretty much enough here, or else I'm just going to be repeating myself. Summary is great hop aroma, great hop bitterness, great malt backbone, great beauty and clarity and color and smell, and carbonation's perfect on this thing. Just overall an A+ on this one, James, and I really do enjoy this one. So, thanks for joining the experiment. Look on my other videos for some reviews. I think I still have to review SJPorr, his beer, and I think that's it actually. So check out those reviews, and cheers, guys. Alright, so we're on the last beer of the SJPorr challenge. And I'm doing SJPorr's version. Little Face Brewing Duke's Special Belgian. Okay, and we're having some carbonation problems. So I'm over the sink right now, but I've already poured some of this into a glass. We're gonna let that settle. And we'll let that sit there. That's going a little crazy. But we're back in here. Ow! Finn, watch out. Alright, so we're gonna let this settle out a little bit. Here's for what I poured off first. This is the best I could do. And we'll get back and we'll do a review. Okay guys, we're back and we are going to do a beer review. We finally got the phone to settle down a little bit. But this is SJPorr's beer in the SJPorr challenge. This is the last beer I have. Sorry it took me so long. I've been real busy lately and haven't had time to do this. So I'm down to the last one. What I'm going to do is do this one, and then I'm going to do a review of my own beer. There's a lot of people out there that are confused by my beer, didn't know what was supposed to be in it, so I'm just going to explain it on video, so look for that next. But this is SJPorr's. This is Duke's double special Belgian or something. I lost the bottle. Special Belgian. So let's first look at it. Obviously, the first thing I noticed is carbonation. Obviously, it was coming out of the bottle. Very highly carbonated. Bubbles are still screaming from the bottom right now. This head's not going anywhere. Nice white head. Good color to it. It's got a nice... Yeah, it's hard to see. It's almost a... If you put it in the light, it's got like a slight orange tint, but it's a nice deep amber color. Nose. Beautiful. Stop. It actually, it's got like a really good nose to it. It's got almost like a sweet honey flavor. I'm getting some sort of like a flowery kind of aroma. It's very pleasant. It's almost like the I don't know if you've ever had the Sam Adams long shot competition beers. The guys that do the Sam Adams homebrew competition, and then the winners get their beer brewed. There's one this year that was a lavender beer made from lavender petals. It kind of reminds me of that in the smell, kind of that flowery. Really good smell though. I'm not picking up, it might be hops too, could be a hops aroma. I'm not picking up on any Belgian characteristics. I'm not getting any of those spicy aromas. But anyways, let's give it a try. SJ, that's a really good beer. I don't think I've ever had anything quite like this. If the carbonation was knocked back on this, this would be a slammer, man. This is great. I don't know what you put in this. Pausing. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Might have a third intermission here actually because my camera battery is about to die. But whatever, we're gonna try to knock this out. So I tasted this SJ. It's very good. First thing I noticed is the mouthfeel, carbonation bubbles coming up everywhere. Could be a little less. Body's a nice medium body. Flavor, I'm getting some whatever it is that you use, that I was picking up on the aroma, that same kind of flowery flavor, and it's actually really good. A little bit of a hop flavor, getting some caramel notes as well, caramel malt. But it tastes like there's a slight little bit of an alcohol warmth on the back of the tongue, but it's not overwhelming. It tastes like, if I had to guess, you use some sort of flour or something like that. Some, I don't know, you must have dry hopped it with something. But did you use honey in this as well? Maybe, maybe not. Tastes like you used honey. Thinned it out a little, but it gives that sweet kind of aftertaste. Caramel flavors in there. But the dominant things I'm getting out of this is the carbonation and the mystery flavor, I'll call it. Whatever that is very unique. I've never had anything like this before. Like I said, I can taste the alcohol. It's probably a little higher gravity beer. You probably wrote it on the bottle. I didn't check it. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of caramel malt, a lot of carbonation, and slight honey flavors. and some exotic flower kind of flavor, which is very good, very unique. This is the most unique out of all the ones I've tried so far. Like I said, back off on the carbonation. This is a slammer, dude. I don't know, do you have any more of this left? So, well, for the Belgian, I mean, I know you called it Duke's Belgian or whatever. Did you use a Belgian yeast or something for this, or why are you calling it a Belgian? I'm just curious. What yeast did you use on this? Maybe you used that. I'm not getting the spicy like clove and all those kind of characteristic flavors of Belgian. So let me know, because this is a very interesting beer. I like it a lot. So great job with this beer. Thanks for doing the experiment once again. It's been a while since we started it, but I'll say it again. Thanks for doing it. I have one more beer to review, which is my own, and I'm just gonna explain what it is that I did so everyone knows. All the other guys that participated in this, I know StumpyJoeJr, I got one of your beers, and Tantrum777, I got one of your beers. Thanks for joining. This was fun. We should do it again. So let me know if you want to do something similar. I know I mentioned a hop experiment sometime. We'll talk about that. So anyways, guys, SJ, very good beer. Cheers, guys. There you have it, SJ. That is your Duke's double Belgian bottle hanging out of the trash, and Finn is liking it apparently. Did you like that? He's licking the bottle. Yum. You know it's a good beer when the dog likes it. So good job, SJ. Now he's going for the regular trash. But you get the point. That was a good beer. What do you think, Buford? If you could reach it, you'd probably drink it too. Finner. Guys, the video is almost over. This is the last part. I just want to explain my beer in the competition for those of you who tried it. So I can answer any questions you guys might have had. It seemed that my beer was the most confusing out of all of them. No one really knew what it was supposed to be or what it was. And I will admit that's kind of what happened. So, drinking the rest of SJPorr's beer. Very good. So my beer originally was intended to be a smoked Scottish ale. Okay, so I used 12 pounds of 2-row, the 1 pound of Crystal 60, the 1 pound of wheat, and my additional grains were a half a pound of cherrywood smoked malt and a pound of Special B. Now, here's where my problem came in. I had never used Special B before. It was the first time. It was an experiment, so I figured I would experiment with some flavors. So I tried Special B. Well, Special B is a very, it's a caramel malt. Well, it's not a caramel malt, but it's a very intensely caramel flavored malt. More so than regular caramel malt. It's used in the Belgian Trappist and Abbey ales. So I underestimated how much I used. I used a pound of that stuff, and it's very intense. So stepping back, the cherrywood smoked malt, I've only used that once before. I used it in a porter, and I used a half a pound in the porter. Now, porter is a dark beer. There's a lot of, there's black patent, there's a little bit of chocolate malt, there's a lot of dark roasted malts to cover up any intense smoke flavors. So I figured a half a pound, a half a pound would be more than, or would not be smoky enough. But I used a half a pound in the porter, and it became, that beer was really, really smoky, way too smoky. And so when I made it this time, I thought, well, okay, maybe I should reduce the amount of cherrywood smoked malt that I used from before, because if it's that intense in a porter, then in my Scottish ale it's going to be way, 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 way too smoky. So I reduced it. I think I said earlier I used a half a pound. I actually only used a quarter of a pound of cherrywood smoked malt. that was the logic behind it. Was if the porter got overrun with smoke, then this one's going to get overrun with smoke, so I'm going to reduce it. That would have worked if I hadn't have used the Special B. The Special B is where the problem came in, because it's so intense. Its flavor completely masked any of the smoky flavors that you get from the cherry wood smoke. Okay, it's a very intense. They're both two conflicting malts that are both very intense flavors, and I used a pound of one and a quarter of a pound of another. So which one's going to win? So the Special B took over. So those of you that were tasting it and you tasted sweet, you tasted fruit, you tasted just malt, very sweet nose, very malty. That's from the Special B, very caramel. That was all from the Special B. Essentially, that's all you were tasting. There was smoked malt there, but like I said, it was covered up by all that Special B. So what it was supposed to be was a balanced, smoky Scottish ale. What it actually ended up being was a very malty, very sweet caramel, I don't know, amber ale, I guess. That's just very high gravity. It was about 9.5% alcohol. So there you have it. The yeast that I used was the Scottish ale yeast from Y Yeast. Once again, that yeast ferments out a lot and accentuates the malt. It's made for Scottish ales, so it accentuates the malt. That didn't help things with the fact that, it was already going to be so malty. So basically what you ended up with was the maltiest beer in the world. So if you like malty, sweet beers, you'd probably like it. It's not a bad beer. It's very drinkable. I've kicked back a few. It's one of those things that I can't drink more than 3 or 4 in one sitting, just because it's so intense. But it will, knock your socks off. I had a 24-ounce of it and I was already feeling it. So it's intense on the ABV, it's intense on the malt and on the sweetness. Good beer otherwise. So that's my description. That's what it was supposed to be, and that's what it actually ended up being. So those are my descriptions. So hopefully that clears up a few things. I didn't put any fruit in it, nothing like that. I carbonated it very low because I was trying to get the Scottish ale. Scottish ales tend to be very low carbonated, on the order of 2 to 2.2 volumes. So I put less corn sugar in there and tried to do that. That came out pretty well. I thought the carbonation was pretty good on it for what I wanted. Other than that, it is what it is. So thanks for doing the reviews, guys. Thanks for trying it. It didn't come out to be what I wanted it to be, but that's what an experiment's for. Now I know. Now you know. We all learned something. Special B, very intense. Cherry wood smoked malt, also very intense. So don't ever go overboard with either one of those. So just plan it out accordingly. So, and I think actually SJ, I think your wife SJPorr was the first to point it out when y'all were doing the tasting. She said it had a Belgianish taste, but without the spices, and that's exactly dead on, because that Special B is used in Belgian Trappist and Abbey ales, and I didn't use a Belgian yeast, so there was no spices associated with it. It was just that intense caramel sweetness. So good call on that, if you're watching. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of SJ's beer here and get back and relax and watch some TV and go to bed and get up early and go to work and start all over again. So I'm glad I finally finished this video. Sorry it took me so long, and cheers, guys.